already talked about my childhood a little bit before, but we were talking about Netflix. So let's just cut to the chase right here about PBS Kids. Now, if you're wondering what that is, it's basically a ton of educational stuff for kids. And there are a couple shows I want to talk about that just won't get out of my head. One amazing, surprisingly, and the other one pretty stupid. Now, we might as well just get the stupid one out of the way before we talk about the great one and comparing the two. And the first one that is incredibly stupid and incredibly illogical in multiple ways than one, just to solve their plot, is Super Why. Why? Like Super Why? Or like Super Why does it exist? Like, seriously. How stupid could this thing possibly be? There are multiple episodes that could have been easily resolved if the characters were either way too shy or just flat out smarter. Like, for an example, this is an episode that I can't really understand. Like, I don't know the title, mostly because, first off, this ain't my childhood, and second off, the creator does not know the name of this episode. I don't know, it's supposed to be like a detective episode or something, because they had this like whole arc where they would make detective episodes. Like, think of Detective Object Dudes, but for kids. But anyways, so yeah, there's this one episode where the pig character, he was like, oh no, I lost my lemons, oh no. You know what he could have done? Instead of going inside of a book and wasting 20 minutes of my time, he could have gone to Walmart and bought more. He could have gone to the store and bought more lemons. Like, we get it, you don't have money. Ask your parents for some. If you can walk to a book club, then you can walk to the supermarket. Is it that simple? No, because the episode... Oh wait, I'm talking about a completely different episode. There's like another episode in this detective arc. Like, you might be thinking, but Sonny, most of these episodes that you're talking about are, if they're mostly in the detective arc, would they be good detectives? No, they would suck. I wouldn't pay them a penny. But anyways, there's another problem in one of the episodes. I think something goes missing, goes inside a book, blah 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 blah. But the real problem is when they get to another part where one of the main characters is supposed to get their screen time. Now, if you're wondering, each character gets a specific segment for each part of their episode. For each part of the episode. One character has to do one thing to complete another thing. Like, let's just say there's a problem. Oh no. And then there's like this whole thing where they have to solve the problem using the power of reading. Little did I know that book from BFTI haunted me after Super Y for the rest of my days. Jack and Jellyfy, why do you hate book? But anyway, oh shoot, I wasn't supposed to show that yet. But anyways, yeah, there was this one part of the episode where they were following a trail after one character solved a problem, and it was like, oh no, we can't get past the fountain, the trail, oh no. And I think there was obviously more trail, I can't really remember. Like, it's like they can fly too. Like, just keep in mind that these guys can fly. We'll think about that later. Like, one of the characters can fly. So yeah, instead of walking around the fountain, they decide to use the power of rhyming. And we get it. This is a kids show. But seriously, don't they think they're overdoing it a little too much? I mean, seriously, you could have just walked around. No need for rhyming, no need for wasting my time on what rhymes with rug or what rhymes with down. Just walk around it. Now, this is the part where we talk about the flying. There was this one episode, I think I remember it was like Little Red Riding Hood or something, and they were supposed to go to the grandma's house. And there was a lake that was stopping them. But instead of flying over it, one of the characters has to get their screen time, so they use the power of the alphabet. But guess what? They could have just flew over it. We didn't need a boat. We needed logic. I feel like none of this stuff could have happened if these stupid readers just decided to let the characters handle the problems on their own. Because there's a good ending in most of these stories. Except for Hansel and Gretel, but we don't talk about Hansel and Gretel. But there was this episode about the three little pigs. There was this whole thing where the big bad wolf was about to blow their house down, and blah 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 blah. Y'all get the story. Y'all get the story. It's been shoved in our faces millions of times, and at this point, it's a childhood icon. Even got a little analog horror game. But anyways, instead of letting the pigs solve it on their own, they go into the book and change the timeline, probably ruining the universe for the rest of their lives. Nice going! You ended the whole world! But at least we learned the power of reading. No! Ending the world is not worth the power of reading. But no, the big bad wolf has to have character development. So he has to be turned into the small wolf. The little teeny teeny, meanie burger, meanie fries, meanie drink looking wolf. But nope, he's all of a sudden sorry and wants to turn big. Like, no. Like, I know you want to prevent them from being eaten and all, but first off, it's the circle of life, and second off, doesn't the story end with the big bad wolf burning his butt off and never effing with the pigs again? Like, the story ended off happy anyways, you just made it twice as corny. Like, it reminds me of this one YouTube short where it was like, thank God K-pop demon hunters but didn't become this. It was like, oh, the honeymoon, it's glowing. I feel it inside me. Like, what? But we're getting off topic here. I could go on and on about how this show is completely illogical. It has probably ruined an entire generation's brain cells. I mean, not Gen Alpha, because the iPads already did that. My bad, guys. I'm kind of a Gen Alpha, too. Or the creator is. Sorry. I'm kind of speaking for him here, guys. I'm kind of speaking for him here. But anyways, there's one more show I want to talk about that is absolutely incredible and actually kind of follows the logic way better than Super Y ever did. And its stupid theme song is stuck inside my head. I wish I could get my friends to help me sing it, but honestly, it's just Xavier Riddle and the Secret Museum. And I need that to get out of my head! But anyways, if you're wondering what Xavier Riddle is, think of if Wheatley's son from Portal 2 teamed up with a bunch of little kids to learn about presidents. It may seem bad in concept, but trust me, the story is actually kind of good. There are these two characters that are a part of the trio, Xavier and Udina, I think, and they actually act like siblings, like Arthur and DW styled acting. But except Udina is less annoying and more innocent child. Like, they even have an argument in an episode once, like, what? Rare footage of PBS Kids actually having realistic siblings? They even teach kids about slavery. And I feel like some parents would freak out when I say this. Don't. It's important for these kids to learn about this so they can prevent this from happening in the first place in the future. I feel like if some bad guy goes to talk to them about how slavery is good, I feel like they can prevent themselves from being hypnotized by watching this show. People actually had this happen to them because they were black. And honestly, I don't approve of this. Yep, it does not get the Object Dude stamp of approval. And trust me, I know. I've seen some racist people on Rec Room myself, and honestly, it's pretty bad. They even learn about characters like Martin Luther King and George Washington, which honestly is pretty good. And they actually follow logic pretty well. Unfortunately, except for one thing. How did they build this? Like, who built this secret museum? Like, was it like constructors from 2070? Like, did they sneak into the building before the museum opened? It was like, yeah, we gotta give these kids a secret museum so they can travel back in time and experience the BS that we had to go through. It's either A, these construction guys started their villain arc, or B, these PBS Kids constructors are absolutely legendary. Now, one thing that I didn't mention while talking about Super Y is that how did they fit an entire village in a library? It just doesn't make sense. But then when it comes to Xavier Riddle, it's a museum. It's supposed to be mysterious. It makes sense. And then it's like, they're not supposed to let the people know that they're from another timeline. Which makes sense. Because unlike Super Y, they don't want to destroy the space-time continuum. Like, seriously. Who in their right mind is like, nah, we want to go back in time and end the world by changing stories? Who does that? Like, everything goes well without you in the end anyway. I'm not talking about you guys. You're not alone if you think this. But anyways, surprisingly, they actually don't want to break the space-time continuum. And I feel like any PBS Kids show that doesn't have the amount of level to this would probably want to break the space-time continuum. And they're like, hey, we're the super readers. We're from... they don't even mention that they're from the real world and that, that their lives are a lie. Like, imagine just going to a book character in your story and being like, hey, I'm Jaden. I'm Sunny. He's Sunny. I'm Jaden. Your life, like, I'm Sunny. He's Jaden. Your life is a lie, got it? You're a book character. You have been authorized by someone else. Someone else that is not me, that is not you. You're not real. Like, imagine just telling someone that. I feel like they would go through an existential crisis. Like, I feel like this literally happened in episode 2 of T-80C when Gummy Goo figured out that he was an NPC. Like, think of that. Like, imagine just telling a character that they're not real. Yeah, you're not real either. Well, yeah, I know that, but, like... Yeah, y'all might be wondering, but Sunny, you're not real either. You were being made in a Roblox game. Yes, I know that. And I'm honestly prideful for it. Like, didn't the II characters from Season 2 have to deal with that? But anyways, the show is amazing, and I absolutely love it. Here are some comparisons between the two shows. 1, the logic. Super Y's logic sucks. Meanwhile, that other show I was just talking about was actually pretty good. Like, the logic was good. They actually were like less fearful to talk about stuff, which leads us to the next category. Fear in talking about stuff that shouldn't be talked about on a kid's show. Super Y probably has a ton of that. I haven't really seen them talk about things like death, or slavery, or being whipped, or racism. Meanwhile, Xavier Riddle surprisingly handles that well, and doesn't over-exaggerate it. In my opinion, I'm surprised that Wheatley even made it into Portal 2 with a new coat of paint. Justice for Wheatley, he's stranded in space. But anyways, surprisingly, my childhood was pretty good. And there are some more things that I would like to talk about. So if we get 5 likes, I'll make a part 3 based off of more PBS Kids shows that I used to watch a lot as a kid, and maybe some Netflix and games in between the mix. But anyways, I'll see you guys later, and remember, don't remember anything. I'm just kidding. Bye guys. Make sure to check out these videos right over here. Yeah, thank you, Cursor. Shout out to the Cursor for helping me, by the way. Make sure to click that subscribe button. It's right up there. Ah, my eye! See, it's right here. Thank you for placing that back. And for using my eye, I guess. But anyways, the creator has to go pee now, so he'll see you later. Bye, guys!